Hi, Sharks. It is Financial Sharktress Galit Sadiq. Happy Money Monday. Today, we're going to talk about one of my favorite topics, which is how small amounts of money can make a big difference in your life. So, most people that I talk to, and when we do their budgeting and when we, go over their financial situation, I hear the same thing over and over. And that's that I don't have enough to start saving or investing. I don't have enough. I don't have a large sum of money to like start this account with. Um, there's always this idea that you need a lot in order to get started, that you need to have a big chunk. And this is something that I've spoken about on my Money Mondays, going back now 5 years of that you actually do not need to have a lot of money to start saving. You do not need to have a lot of money to start investing. You can make huge differences in your life with small amounts of money as long as you are doing it regularly over a long period of time. So that means that if you are looking to start an emergency fund, a fuck you fund, if you are looking to start getting into investing, if you're trying to put down a larger sum of money to go towards a goal, you can do that by choosing to put in small amounts of money at regular intervals over a long period of time. Um, this is especially when I teach how to start a fuck you fund. What I tell people to do is I want you to think about the smallest amount of money that you spend during the week on something frivolous that you can then instead put towards your financial future. So if that is $1, if that is $5, if that is $10, or if you're lucky, if that is $20, what I want you to do is take that $1, that $5, that $10, or that $20, and I want you to transfer that, make an automatic transfer and transfer that into a high interest savings account. Now, the reason that I say high interest savings account is for the same thing. Small amounts of money make a big difference. So the amount of interest that you are earning on something makes a difference, especially if it is compounding interest. So let's explain a little bit about interest. There are two types of interest in this world. There's simple interest and there is compound interest. Um, Interest is usually expressed as a percentage. You've seen it on, when the bank is going to give you interest on the money that you deposit there. Let's backtrack even further. Why do banks give you interest on your money? I'm asking you this question. If you're watching now or you're watching on the replay, let me know why you think. I will tell you why banks give interest. It is because they are taking your money that you deposit with them. They are not keeping it in your account. They are using that money to go make money for themselves. And what they do is they give you a small amount back for the privilege of using your money. Now, your regular brick and mortar bank is going to give you very low interest on things. And that is because they have a ton of overhead, right? They've got branches and people sitting there that they got to pay no matter what. They're not necessarily looking out for your best interest. A bank is a business. A bank is there to make money, right? But online banks have less overhead and they are not as popular. They might not be as convenient, right? Because you can't just walk into a branch. And so they need to incentivize you into leaving your money with them so that they can use your money to then make more money. They do this by giving higher interest rates on things like saving accounts and CDs, and that's where the pull is. I am a firm believer in going with whoever will give you the most interest and whoever will give you compounding interest. Now, simple interest means that it's based on the amount of the deposit. So if you deposited $1,000, you are going to get interest based on $1,000. If you take out a loan for $1,000, you are going to get charged for $1,000 in interest. Compounding interest is different. So in compounding interest, you not only are getting interest based on the principal of the deposit, but you are getting interest based on the deposit plus the interest that you've gotten. So let's say you've gotten $1,000, you put $1,000 in the account, and you got $5 in interest. The compounding interest will then pay you interest on $1,005, and it will keep going and keep going. And those small amounts that keep getting tacked on keep growing, and you get more and more and more interest the more that's in there. So with compounding interest, you are getting interest on your interest, right? And that is really where you want to be when you're looking at a savings account, or you're looking even at an investment or something like that. You want the interest to compound. You want to get more the more you have. You want to stay away from putting savings in something that has simple interest, because you're always going to get interest on that initial amount. And if the amount is now growing, you should be getting interest on the entire amount that they're using to go and make more money with, not just the initial amount that you deposited. So you can see that small amounts make a huge difference. And I will share with you, just even mentally, small amounts make a huge difference, because it changed me as a person. When I was little, my mother, my mother used to actually go take me and my little sister, and we'd return, cans and bottles for recycling. And I'm not sure, it's not in every state. So it's not here in Arizona, actually, where I live now, but in New York, you could collect bottles and cans, return them, and get 5 cents for each can, for each bottle. And that money, what we did was we collected it. And that money that we those bottles that we collected, we then turned into cash in increments of 5 cents each bottle or each can. And that was the money that we used in order to start a bank account. And this was way back in the day. A lot of you will remember it. Some of you will not, but this was back in the day when banks had these little books. And I used to come in with my little book, and I get to deposit however much I had, and they'd stamp in my book what my new balance was. And that taught me from a very young age. So you can do this with the children in your life. Teach them starting now that it does not have to be large amounts, that they can create something with small amounts. And if you teach them young, right, then they will also start to invest with small amounts at a young age, and will be way better prepared for retirement, way better prepared for having large investments when they're older. It's actually crazy. If you start investing when you're much younger. If you start investing in like your 20s, you actually don't have to invest a lot per month in order to be a millionaire in, when you're of retirement age. The longer that you wait to start, so that's another big thing. Do not wait. Never wait. So if you've got $1 now, if you've got $5 now, I want you to go start saving that, start investing that, because the longer that you wait, the more that you actually have to put in each month in order to get you to have that millionaire status. This was something that I wish I would have learned earlier. So if you know me, you know that I did not come from a wealthy background. I did not come from a background with strong financial literacy. I came from a background where, I was emotionally and physically abused. And one of the ways that my father controlled our family was through money. So actually making sure that we had a lack of financial literacy was a point in my childhood, right? It was, I'm going to give you just enough info so that you'll always be dependent upon me. And when we left, when my mother, little sister, and I ran away to a domestic violence shelter, that was when I started to open up my eyes and kind of think about what are the things that I can do to make sure that I'm never in a situation where I'm being controlled by someone because I don't know how to handle my own money. That became, over the years, kind of a life mission for me. The beginning, very early on, I listened to Susie Orman. My oldest sister was someone that turned me on to Susie Orman. And while as an adult, I don't necessarily think that all of her methods are what I would tell my clients, but it was a great place to start. It really taught me some things that I had to get moving on and get started on. And I feel I started investing for my retirement in my later 20s. And I wish that someone had gotten me investing even younger. What I've actually, learned since is, and what I'm constantly studying, constantly learning is, really, you can start investing at any age. As soon as you have a social security number in America, you can start a Roth IRA. So you could have babies, you could start investing for your children when they're infants. I'm currently, working on, I just got married and my husband and I are working on having a baby. And one of the things I did before we even got married was I started a 529 account for my future child. Now, there are some things, like right now it's in my name. And then when they're born, I will obviously move it into their name. But my child hasn't even been conceived yet. Okay. And I am already working on small amounts, putting away small amounts for them. And I chose a very small amount that I knew would not hurt me. It would not feel like I was depriving myself of anything. When you choose to invest with smaller amounts, what happens is there's less risk for you. If you put away a large amount and something happens with the market, it hurts. It physically hurts. And we know that we're supposed to keep it, right? We're supposed to set it and forget it. We are not supposed to take out if the market drops. But when you've invested a large amount, it hurts. every time the market drops. When you are investing small amounts over a large period of time, it does not hurt if the market goes down a little bit, because so what? It was $5, it was $10, it hurts, but it doesn't give you that like sinking pit in your stomach where you're just like, that was a lot. That hurt big. And what you can actually do is take advantage of something called dollar cost averaging in investing, which is that you are not trying to time the markets. You are not trying to buy when the market is low and then sell when the market is high. What you are doing is putting in a small amount over a regular period of time, like a week or each week or every 2 weeks or every month. And you can make this automated so that you are not actually doing this. That's the beauty of technology and having kind of a digital world nowadays. You can put it up as an automatic investment, an automatic transfer. And then what happens is sometimes you buy when the market is low, sometimes you buy when the market is high, but you're not timing anything. It's averaging out over time, right? Like, so sometimes you bought when the market is low, sometimes you bought when the market is high. It averages out. And then the market in general goes up, right? In general, it grows. And so what happens is your investments grow no matter what. And this is a strategy for people that are investing long term, right? This is not a strategy that works very well if you've only got like 10 years, 5 years left to invest. You want to have as much time as possible in order for you to invest, because you need time for your money to grow. You need time for it to multiply. And if you keep reinvesting the dividends in the small amounts, it grows. It continues to grow. When I did this for my savings and for my Fuck You fund, when I first started this, I started with $20 every other week. And for me at that time, that was not a lot. I felt like I was spending $20 every other week on things that didn't really matter towards my future. And so that was the amount that I chose. And what I did was every few months, so every 2 or 3 months, I would evaluate it and I'd think to myself, did that hurt? Did it hurt my pocket? Did I feel like I was being deprived of things? Did I feel like I kept having to pull money out of my savings? And if the answer was no, I added another small automatic transfer on. And before I knew it, I think it was within a year, I was saving something like $1,000 a month. And that's huge. That is a huge, huge amount to be saving. And for me, I chose to do that with savings. You can also do that with investing. I chose to do that until I had a nice Fuck You fund, or other people call it an emergency fund. You can have both. An emergency fund can kind of be for just any emergency that comes up in your life. Medical emergency, your car breaks down, you lose your job, whatever it is, an emergency fund. So ideally, in an emergency fund, a lot of people say you want 3 to 6 months worth of expenses in your emergency fund. How do you know how much you need? You got to make a budget. We can work on that. I've spoken about this before. I am happy to work on budgets with anyone that wants. I have a special right now 2-hour budgeting session for $150. It is normally $400 with me. So please take advantage of that. I'm going to be doing that, I think, for the foreseeable future, just because I know how hard inflation and the way that things are going in the world is hitting people. And I want to make sure that there is affordable help for you. And we can really make a strong budget in 2 hours. So for the emergency fund, people have said 3 to 6 months. I now say the ideal situation does not have to happen right away. Again, small amounts are what works. Ideally, you want 6 months to a year. And I say this because we saw what happened with COVID. Sometimes 3 to 6 months is not enough. And things can shut down pretty quickly. And you want to make sure that you've got enough of a buffer that it does not hurt. Or that you can stop the bleeding for a period of time until you can get back on your feet. So I am saying 6 months to a year. You don't have to do that all at once. You can do that in small amounts. And that is why small amounts are so important, because you can change a lot with very little. You just need time. That is the most important factor when it comes to your finances and creating financial health and financial wealth. If you don't have large sums of money, you want the most time that you have available. So do not wait. If you need any help or you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. You can contact me here in the group, in my Facebook group, Righteous Revenue Fishbowl. You can contact me on my Facebook page, Financial Sharktress Galit Sadiq. If you are watching this on YouTube, please like, subscribe, share. If you need to reach me on Instagram, you can DM financial_sharktress. You can always email me at galit@financialsharktress.com. My bios usually have links to book things, links to reach me. If you've got any stories that you want to share, or you want to celebrate with me how you are using small amounts to make your life better and to make your finances more stable, please do so. I want to hear your stories. I love hearing success stories. I love knowing that I make a difference. That, I think, is really what's most important to me in life. And it came about this weekend where I had someone reach out to me who didn't really know much about, they had heard about my past and they were going through a situation that felt like I could connect with it. And the reason they felt that way is because I'm just so open and out there. And I come on here every week and I bare my soul for all of you to see. And I do that because I want you to know that I'm here. And it might not be today, it might not sink in today that you need me or that I can help you with something, but at some point there might be something in your life where you're going to remember that I was there and I was talking and I went through the same thing, and I'll be able to help you. And whether that's with money or a different topic, you know that the philanthropic arm of my business is now Galit Speaks, and that is really talking about all of the things that are important to me. So if you don't follow that already, please do. I'm on Instagram and YouTube, and I've started doing financial TikTok. So if you're on TikTok, please tune in there as well. I'm here, and I'm going to keep putting out content, and I'm going to keep talking to you, and I'm going to keep telling you about the things that happen to me and my life, and I'm going to keep sharing, because if I can help even one other person, then it's all worth it for me. So on that note, have an amazing rest of your evening. Happy Money Monday, and I would love to hear from you soon. Have a great night. Bye-bye.